Coming up, Tzu Chi volunteers hold a blessing ceremony in memory of the recent Kaohsiung accident. We find out about Liqiu, the 13th solar term, and how to stay healthy during this volatile time. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. The 7th lunar month is traditionally known as Ghost Month. However, Master Zhen reminds us that in Buddhism, the 7th lunar month is in fact a time of joy and gratitude. Thus, Tzu Chi volunteers in Taiwan, Malaysia, as well as China are highlighting the importance of filial devotion instead of burning joss paper. During a recent evening recycling event, Tzu Chi volunteers in Zhangzhou, Fujian also stop passers-by on the street and invite them to a 7th lunar month celebration.
We're promoting environmental conservation and welcome you to come listen. Shall I show you the way?
In hopes of changing the audience's point of view on burning joss paper, volunteer Xue Fengfa speaks of his own experience.
Every month, I did donate about $30 to Tzu Chi. That was the money I did normally spend on buying joss paper. To me, I gained merit by helping out the poor.
My mother-in-law asked me to buy joss paper, but I knew it would not be easy to change her mind. I would just buy less and less and help her slowly get used to the concept.
The audience then watches a video of how one should fulfill filial duties towards one's ancestors.
其实呢，这个新时代下，应该说，不管说展显应。
The younger generation's concept of environmental conservation and fulfillment of filial piety should follow that of the video.
那我想说，这个孝敬长辈的方式，咱们这个片中所说的，值得我们去效仿。
Breaking the traditional 7th lunar month mold, Tzu Chi volunteers are celebrating it by protecting the planet and fulfilling filial piety. Meanwhile, in Malaysia, Tzu Chi volunteers of the Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter put on a play to help promote Tzu Chi's message of not burning joss paper to honor the dead.
Since it's recycling day and the 7th lunar month, we want the children and parents to understand the correct meaning of this lunar month, so we put on a play to encourage everyone not to burn joss paper.
In Buddhism, the 7th lunar month is a month of blessings and not the urban legend known as Ghost Month. After watching the play by Tzu Chi volunteers, many residents gained a new perspective.
Traditionally, we needed to burn joss paper to appease the ghost, but the Tzu Chi brothers and sisters said it's not environmentally friendly and that we should use a different approach to garner blessings, like taking that money and donating it to charity instead.
Only by breaking superstitions can residents live with the right direction in life. Moving to Malaysia's Penang, a play poking fun of the superstitions surrounding the 7th lunar month elicited laughter from the audience. Holding a blessing ceremony, Tzu Chi volunteers in Georgetown have done well in promoting Master Zhen message of not burning joss paper or making offerings with meat during the 7th lunar month.
It's useless. What can I gain by burning joss paper?
A play about unfounded beliefs surrounding the burning of joss paper has New Taipei City's Banqiao residents' attention.
Actually, I never liked burning joss money. I always felt that it was polluting the environment.
Under Tzu Chi's guidance, we can spread the correct way to celebrate the 7th lunar month. This year feels especially meaningful to me.
Besides promoting protection of the planet, volunteers also held a blessing ceremony to help calm restless hearts. After dispelling the superstitions surrounding the 7th lunar month, volunteers unite the hearts of local residents as everyone comes together to pray for those affected by the recent tragedies in Taiwan. In the wake of the Kaohsiung tragedy, Tzu Chi volunteers were among the first to arrive at the scene of the blast to tend to the survivors' needs. On August 5th, a blessing ceremony was held at the福康Elementary School, during which 700 residents took time to let go of their pain and sorrows through prayer.
This evening, survivors of the Kaohsiung gas blast are gathered at the福康Elementary School basketball courts, and their hearts are at peace.
Thank you, police officers, firefighters, military personnel, and private search and rescue teams for devoting many sleepless nights to the rescue efforts.
Jingsobo Dharma Master Durning reads a letter from Master Zheng Yan that contains her sincerest blessings. Wuhai Borough Chief Liao Funan, who has focused all his energy on the rescue efforts, has plenty to thank Tzu Chi for.
I'm truly moved by our blue and white clad Tzu Chi volunteers for bringing comfort to families of the injured.
The song We Are One Family brings tears to the residents' eyes. Having experienced the love and concern of Tzu Chi volunteers, their days of anxiety have been laid to rest.
It was earth-shattering. I've never experienced such a catastrophe, but I feel more at peace now.
Thank the Buddha for watching over us. The Tzu Chi brothers are great as they have been delivering meals on our behalf.
With lamps of the heart in hand, blast survivors sincerely pray for the injured, their families, and those continuing to save lives on the front lines. The nightmares of July 31st cast a shadow on the formerly peaceful lives of Kaohsiung residents. Days after the disaster, hope and peace still seem far away.
Everyone speaks of peace and safety. Of course, peace is a blessing. But I have so much pain in my heart, and I can't seem to be happy.
We're relatively blessed. There are those who are worse off than us, so we need to be content.
Plucking up their courage and putting aside their sorrows, residents come face to face with reality as they begin the journey towards rebuilding their lives. Moving among the service station and greeting rescue workers is Tzu Chi volunteer Huang Jianxing. On the night of the explosion, Huang was jolted from his sleep. He immediately contacted his counterparts, and the following morning, a team of Tzu Chi volunteers were mobilized at the blast scene to offer their assistance.
Since we are safe and sound, we should cherish our blessings. As Tzu Chi volunteers, we don't have a heart of distinction. We seize every opportunity we can to help.
There are many volunteers like Huang in Tzu Chi. With a heart of empathy, they devote themselves to serving the best interests of local residents. From pitching tents to setting up the venue, volunteers press forward even as it starts to rain.
We want the residents to know that Tzu Chi volunteers will always be by their side. If they encounter difficulties, they will always have a shoulder to lean on.
Combining their efforts to serve the greater good, volunteers continue to spread their warmth and love to all corners of society.
More on the Kaohsiung accident. Recently, Tzu Chi volunteers also mobilized to pack relief goods at the local Jingsi Hall. Furthermore, they have also started conducting home visitations to better understand the needs of blast survivors and tend to the victims' anxious hearts.
Dear residents, life is full of impermanence.
Reading Master Zheng Yan's condolence letter and offering a Jingsi aphorisms booklet to the Huang family, Tzu Chi volunteers are here to provide the senior couple much-needed emotional support.
You and your grandson can take a look at the Jingsi aphorisms booklet.
I don't have anything to pray to. I can only pray with a sincere heart.
Mrs. Huang, who is a devoted Buddhist, has been a vegetarian for more than 40 years. In the aftermath of the explosion, her husband decided to go meatless to do his part to pray for sentient beings.
Following the blast, he has been eating vegetarian meals with his wife.
Although the senior couple's health was not affected by the tragedy, both are still traumatized by the incident. Thankfully, volunteers are here to ease their anxious hearts.
We will be on standby to provide local residents with physical and emotional support when and wherever needed. For those needing scholarship aid, we will do our best to help.
Loading boxes of supplies onto a truck is Tzu Chi volunteer Liu Xixing, who, despite having to look after his food factory, decided to put aside his job upon learning of the tragedy. He also mobilized his fellow volunteers to contribute their strength.
As a team leader, it is my duty to gather everyone to help those in greater need. When the disaster struck, everyone took the initiative to contribute their strength.
Among the areas affected by the blast is Sandor Road, where many stores are still covered in debris. To make sure those cleaning up their surroundings have strength to carry out their duties, Tzu Chi volunteers have been offering hot meals for the past 6 days.
Thank you, Tzu Chi volunteers, for providing hot meals and water for us during this difficult time. We are truly grateful.
It was my first time receiving free meals from others. Thank you, Tzu Chi brothers and sisters, for all your support. Thank you so much.
Touched by the volunteers' dedication, besides expressing their thanks personally to the volunteers, many even wrote down notes of gratitude. Meanwhile, at the local Jingsi Hall, volunteers from across the island are here to pack bags of relief goods. Each bag is filled with instant noodles, instant rice, grain powder, nuts, a Jingsi aphorisms booklet, and much more.
Many residents are still scared and nervous, so we hope they can feel more at ease when they receive Tzu Chi's relief pack, which are filled with our love and care.
Everyone wants to contribute their strength to help those affected by the underground gas explosions. We hope with our assistance, residents can regain the strength to move on as soon as possible.
The love filled in each relief pack can feed hungry stomachs, while the Jingsi aphorism booklet can put one's mind at ease.
A resident was very puzzled and kept asking why the accident happened, but he found his answer after reading the Jingsi aphorisms.
Among those preparing hot meals for needy residents are teachers from the Tzu Chi Teachers Association in Taichung City.
Everyone was extremely happy when they received the news that we could come to prepare meals for the survivors. We want to dedicate ourselves to helping the less fortunate.
This time, it is a different kind of disaster. Everyone is traumatized by the tragedy.
In the aftermath of the blast, volunteers from across the island gathered together to dedicate their strength and love to heal blast survivors' broken hearts and also to let them know that they are not alone.
Liqiu is the 13th solar term of the year, which means that autumn is near. But due to Taiwan's location, there won't be a noticeable difference in temperature until 2 months later. In our next report, we will introduce you to the culture, festivals, and customs associated with this solar term.
An old Chinese saying says that a fallen leaf of a parasol tree means autumn is near. As the calendar reaches the 13th solar term, Liqiu, the temperature will begin to drop every time it rains. However, due to Taiwan's location, the onset of autumn will not be evident for another 2 months. Also, Taiwan needs to be aware of autumn tigers or autumn typhoons.
At the time of the 13th solar term Liqiu, Taiwan will still be quite hot, so citizens must remember to keep themselves well hydrated and use plenty of sunscreen during this period.
在马祖地区行进方向的右半边，所以它的整个风浪预计会有11级到13级的强阵风。
Around this time, storms will approach by staying along the edge of high-pressure systems, so torrential rains will be a lot more likely to occur. We must be aware of the damage potential of typhoons during this period.
The number of typhoons will increase after autumn is here, thus farmers quickly tend to late-season rice while the weather is nice.
Early season rice is afraid of cold, so you need to add water accordingly. But late season rice will rot if there is too much water.
Rice farming is heavily dependent on the climate. Thus, there is another old saying which goes, if it's sunny on Liqiu, the farmers can take it easy. But if it's a thunderstorm instead, farmers will have a poor harvest.
We are afraid that it will flood during typhoons. If that happens when rice is heading, everything will be ruined. Farmers rely on the heavens for their livelihood.
To help ensure farmers will have a good harvest, in the old days, an emperor would lead his officials in holding a large worship on Liqiu, but as times have changed, the autumn ritual has been forgotten. Instead, the Qi Qiao festival, or Chinese Valentine's, which commemorates the romantic legend of Niu Lang and Zhi has come to be the celebration associated with the solar term.
Lunar July is also known as the month of Qiao, which means housekeeping talent. So young girls would gather at night to make fruit offerings and pray that they will be blessed with good needlework and other qualities that make a good wife.
In Taiwan, Qixi is also the birth date of goddess Qinyang, or better known as goddess of seven stars, the guardian of children. On this day, Tainan residents will take their children who have reached 16 years of age to the goddess's temple to mark their 16th birthday.
In early years, when people were mostly farmers and knew nothing about hygiene or bacteria, children fell sick easily, so their grandparents would pray to the goddess for them to grow up healthy. By the time they are 16, they would return to the temple to let the goddess know they have reached adulthood.
As it is still quite hot around this time, a chilled watermelon is just the right cure to keep the heat at bay.
Supposedly, there's this custom called kanqiu or yaoqiu, which means to chew on a watermelon or cantaloupe to chase away the heat.
The fruit that represents this period is langan, a cousin of lychee, also called fuyuan, the blessed orb. People used to eat it along with the watermelon to energize their kidneys and lungs.
People used to believe that eating longyan will bless your offspring.
Dry longyan can be kept for a year. A gentle health supplement, it can be used to help a woman recover from childbirth or as a cold remedy.
Due to climate change, Chinese medicine doctors advise people to follow the 2 yes and 3 no's.
The 2 yes are to rise early and pay attention to change in temperatures. The 3 no's are no cold beverages, no hot and spicy food, and no unnecessary supplements.
As Chinese love eating supplements, Chinese medicine doctors advise people to be careful and not harm themselves instead. Lung is the organ to pay attention to during Liqiu.
Pressure points such as Taiyuan, Yunmen, Zongfu, or any other along the lung meridian can be massaged.
Finally, a herbal drink made with monk fruit, birch-fruited scabium seed, lily bulb, chrysanthemum flower, monkey grass, and adenophora can help you stay cool and hydrated during the season.
Since late April, Tzu Chi volunteers in Indonesia have been watching Master Cheng Yen's Wisdom at Dawn broadcast. However, due to complications, the event was held only once a week. Thankfully, with the help of Malaysia's Tzu Chi volunteers and Tzu Ching's, Indonesia volunteers can now finally stay in touch with the Master's Dharma on a daily basis.
At a train station in Jakarta, Indonesia, members of the public wait anxiously for their turn to enter the station as everyone is heading home to celebrate Eid al-Fitr, an important holiday celebrated by Muslims across the globe. However, at the Jingsi Hall at Penta Indah Kaput, a group of Tzu Chi volunteers seized this holiday to tune in to Master Cheng Yen's Wisdom at Dawn broadcast.
Master Cheng Yen never rests, so as her disciples, we should not rest either. Although many people are on holiday celebrating Eid al-Fitr, we should still seize the chance to absorb the Master's Dharma.
Following the footsteps of their counterparts across the globe, since late April, volunteers of the Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter has been tuning into Master Cheng Yen's Wisdom at Dawn broadcast. Due to language barriers and transportation issues, the event was held only once a week. Thankfully, with the help of Malaysia Tzu Chi volunteers and Tzu Ching's, Indonesia volunteers can finally watch the broadcast every day.
We had to ask our counterparts in other countries to help us. Thanks to their help, we can finally watch Master Zheng Yan's Wisdom at Dawn broadcast on a daily basis. Through a collective effort, we overcame the language barrier. Although we are not able to watch the live broadcast, we are still able to absorb the Master's Dharma after the show is translated into Indonesian.
For many Indonesia volunteers, being able to stay in touch with the Master's Dharma is a dream come true. Among the devoted volunteers is Harroy Suparam, whose notebook is filled with the words spoken by the Master.
I've been writing down the Master's words because I will forget them if I don't. Although my writing is not that legible, at least I will be able to read it afterwards. I can share the things I have written down with other volunteers, and if I miss a part, I will be able to write it down. In the future, I can review what I have written down.
Through watching Master Zheng Yan's Wisdom at Dawn broadcast, Indonesia, Tzu Chi volunteers and their counterparts across the globe can better follow in the Master's footsteps.
In China, Dongguan Tzu Chi volunteers recently held a concert to encourage members of the public to embrace Jingsi aphorisms, with Jingsi aphorism booklets as the entrance ticket. This free concert's ultimate goal was to touch people's hearts and to create the right mindset.
如果世界末日真的来临，不想也留在心底。我很想说，并且想要现在告诉你，我爱你。
Wan Fang sings a song dedicated to her father as part of the concert held in Dongguan, Guangdong. The genuine affection conveyed by the concert was felt by everyone in the audience. More than 1,000 people brought their Jingsi aphorisms booklet as tickets to the concert. What they received in return was a simple sign language performance that merited much reflection.
Before reading Jingsi aphorisms, she was very bad-tempered, but now she's very tolerant. The main problem was she complained a lot, but now she's a doer.
"23-year-old Qiu Jingjing has limited mobility and once considered this to be an obstacle. However, after attending events sponsored by Tzu Chi and reading Jingsi aphorisms, her life has turned from bitter to sweet." Qiu Jingjing, although slow in her steps, now feels assured and steady in her heart as she faces life with the right mindset.
As we leave you with these images at the end of the show, we would also like to extend a happy Father's Day to all the papas in Taiwan. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.